Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2 and I'm back again with another movie review. I watched Logan's Run Saturday night, and I thought that it was a very unique and different sort of film. It was done in 1978, and of course Michael York played the role of Logan, and he was very young when he did that movie, and seeing him in that kind of a role was different, and he was I think he was a rather good actor for the time. And Farrah Fawcett was also in it. But her acting was just atrocious. It's her character, Mary 2, came off as a complete bimbo, and I hated that because I hate to see blondes stereotyped, and not all blondes are idiots, but anyway, that aside. The story itself takes place in the future, and instead of reproduction taking place, babies are born inside of incubators. They're actually grown, as they say, and people have different ranks as they grow. They have yellows and reds and greens and blues, and of course when you're nearing the end of your life, you are red. I'm wondering if that's where the term red shirt comes from. I know it comes from Star Trek, because all the red shirts get killed in the expeditions that they go on, but this gives a whole nother meaning to red shirt. And it's interesting because they all have servo chips in their right hand that control their life functions, and by the time they reach 30, they reach last day, what's called last day, and then they go to carousel, and then they are reborn. But Logan learns through a series of events that carousel is a lie, and of course he has a girl that he meets who has an ankh around her neck, and her name's Jessica, and Jessica is a runner, and in the beginning we learn that Logan is what's known as a Sandman, and the objective of the Sandman is to terminate the runners, and he decides to, he's reprogrammed by the computer system that Sandman usually used for missions and whatnot, and he is given the mission to find a sanctuary, and his ticket, which one of the runners had, the one that he terminated, was an ankh. And if you're familiar with your Egyptian mythology, an ankh represents longevity or eternity, long life, good fortune, and that sort of thing. And it's very intriguing as the movie goes on. Logan and Jessica start their quest to leave the dome city where they all live, and they come to the outside world, and there are a lot of things that transpire there, but I'm not going to say what they are, because if I do, it'll ruin the plot point. And there's some humor in it as well. There's some parts that are kind of weird, considering that it's a very old film, and that it was done with not very much computer graphics whatsoever, or any sort of special effect. Well, there are special effects, but the special effects are kind of cheesy. But beyond that, it's really an excellent movie, and I loved it. I give it 3.5 stars out of 4. And some of the Moog music is a little ear-piercing and annoying at times, but it gives light to the film itself and gives it the whole futuristic feel. And I think at the time they were trying out Moog synthesizers just to see what kind of sounds they could get out of them, and they were trailblazing at that time. And it's just a very interesting cautionary tale that just makes you realize that humanity is nothing if you take away love, and you can live and grow old and make good decisions and try to live a harmonious life. And there's so much symbolicism in the movie that's it's really intriguing, I thought. And although this is an old film, it just brought shivers up my spine because I see a lot of this taking place, and a lot of the books I've read about the apocalypse and the fact of the servo chip in the hand. I thought that was very interesting indeed, and I hope to God it never happens, but it's just a very different sort of film. And if you're a fan of Michael York, I would definitely check it out because it's different and it's unique, and despite the time for when it was made, it was ahead of its time. And of course there's a lot of morals involved, and a little bit of mention of, actually, to do a pictorial reference of Adam and Eve when Logan and Jessica leave the domed city and they come to find the outside world. And it's just really, really interesting, I thought, and different, and I really liked it, even though it's just a completely unique film, and it is bizarre in spots, I will give it that. There's one spot in the movie that kind of reminded me of Barbarella in the way that sex was depicted. If you've seen Barbarella, then you know what I'm talking about. But it was very amusing, I thought, as well as just weird. And I don't see why that particular scene was in there, except maybe to tantalize the viewer. And of course, there's a lot of conflict that goes on within the film itself, and it's just very unusual and unique in and of itself, and there really hasn't been another film like it that has been made since then. But I think it stands out as a sci-fi classic, and if you like sci-fi films, then this is the one to watch. And there really isn't anything else that's good in the cinemas right now, so I would highly recommend Logan's Run because it is different than any other film I've ever seen, and the plot is so interesting, and just so I think it speaks to our times, even though it was written in 73. So just be very mindful of that. I think it was meant to wake us up as a society, and I think that the producer of the film was very aware of that. So unless you don't care for sci-fi, then don't watch it. But other than that, it is a fantastic, fabulous film, and it's a lot of fun to watch. It's really entertaining, and it engrosses you and captures your imagination, and just makes you pray that our future is nothing like Logan's was. God forbid. But it's just very interesting and unique and rare. So give it a shot, you might like it.